only a tiny bit left of this 33rd chapter of David Copperfield, which is called Blissful. David and Dora are clearly in love and working out the details. "You don't care for that happiness in the least," said Dora, slightly raising her eyebrows and shaking her head, "when you were sitting by Miss Kit." Kit, I should observe, was the name of the creature in pink with the little eyes. "Though certainly I don't know why you should," said Dora, "or why you should call it happiness at all. But of course you don't mean what you say, and I am sure no one doubts your being at liberty to do whatever you like. Jip, you naughty boy, come here." I don't know how I did it. I did it in a moment. I intercepted Jip. I had Dora in my arms. I was full of eloquence. I never stopped for a word. I told her how I loved her. I told her I should die without her. I told her I idolized and worshipped her. Jip barked madly all the time. When Dora hung her head and cried and trembled, my eloquence increased, so much the more. If she would like me to die for her, she had but to say the word, and I was ready. Life without Dora's love was not a thing to have on any terms. I couldn't bear it. I wouldn't. I had loved her every minute, day and night, since I first saw her. I loved her at that minute to distraction. I should always love her every minute to distraction. Lovers had loved before, and lovers would love again, but no lover who ever loved might, could, would, or should ever love as I loved Dora. The more I raved, the more Jip barked. Each of us, in his own way, got more mad every moment. Well, well, Dora and I were sitting on the sofa by and by, quiet enough, and Jip was lying on her lap, winking peacefully at me. It was off my mind. I was in a state of perfect rapture. Dora and I were engaged. I suppose we had some notion that this was to end in marriage. We must have had some, because Dora stipulated that we were never to be married without her papa's consent. But in our youthful ecstasy, I don't think that we really looked before us or behind us, or had any aspiration beyond the ignorant present. We were to keep our secret from Mr. Spenlow, but I am sure the idea never entered my head then, and there was anything dishonorable in that. What an idle time it was! What an unsubstantial, happy, foolish time it was! When I measured Dora's finger for a ring that was to be made of forget-me-nots, and when the jeweler, to whom I took the measure, found me out, he laughed over his order book and charged me anything he liked for the pretty little toy with its blue stones. When we had those meetings in the garden of the square and sat within the dingy summer house, so happy that I love the London sparrows to this hour for nothing else. When we had our first great quarrel within a week of our betrothal, and when Dora sent me back the ring enclosed in a despairing cocked hat note, wherein she used the terrible expression that our love had begun in folly and ended in madness. When we cried and made it up, and arranged a plan of correspondence through Miss Mills, always to comprehend at least one letter on each side every day. What an idle time, what an unsubstantial, happy, foolish time. Of all the times of mine that time has in its grip, there is none that in one retrospection I can smile at half so much and think of half so tenderly. And that is the end of chapter 33.